The Ax60 carbon dioxide detector is a life safety device that measures the amount of carbon dioxide in the air. If a CO2 sensor detects a potentially dangerous level of CO2, it triggers an alarm on the central display, which is then announced by the CO2 alarms. CO2 is odourless and colourless and is not detected by human senses. Fresh air contains a safe level of CO2, but a slight increase in level can cause drowsiness, headaches and increased breathing. A further increase can cause unconsciousness and eventually death. Your standard Ax60 carbon dioxide detector package contains a central display, sensor unit, alarm unit, power supply unit, couplers, hazard and information labels, paper templates for attaching to the wall, and a printed Quick Start guide. The Quick Connect central display is pre-fitted with 2 cable glands. The Quick Connect CO2 sensor is fitted with 2 cable glands, pre-wired with 2 cables. The Quick Connect CO2 alarm is fitted with 1 cable gland. The supplied RJ45 couplers are used to connect the 2 white RJ45 connectors and the 2 blue RJ45 connectors. The power supply unit is a plug-in type, supplied with plug adapters for different countries. Using the supplied paper template, mark out the wall fixing position, ensuring the central display is level. You'll need to drill holes in the wall, then fit the wall plugs or dowels to fix into place. Then, using the supplied paper template, mark out the position for the CO2 sensor, ensuring again it's level. As CO2 is heavier than air, the CO2 sensor should be installed at a height of 12 to 18 inches, 305 to 457 millimeters above the floor level in order to monitor from a low height. Finally, using the supplied paper template, mark out the wall fixing position for the CO2 alarm, again ensuring it's level. The CO2 alarm should be located so as to provide coverage for access and egress points, as well as busy areas. For information, the connection of your Quick Connect Ax60 system would usually take place once you have the components mounted to the wall as per the installation instructions. The Ax60 Quick Connect option is pre-wired with Cat 5e cables and colour-coded RJ45 connectors for easy connection. In this standard package, you'll need to connect the central unit to the CO2 sensor. You then need to attach the CO2 sensor to the CO2 alarm. Use the 2-meter cable with blue RJ45 connector from the CO2 sensor and connect this into the RJ45 coupler. To power your supply, you'll need to use the plug-in power supply unit, which is supplied with a securing strip, wall plugs and screws to reduce the risk of accidental disconnection or tampering. This can be plugged into a domestic electricity supply and should then be switched on. The central display is used to configure and operate the system. After powering on, the Ax60 performs a power on self-test, which takes about 30 seconds. At the end of the power on self-test, the LED will show OK for the one connected CO2 sensor and the concentration of CO2 measured. Pressing cycle at the end of this sequence will display if further sensors are connected or if not installed. The central display software is factory configured for a system that has 2 sensors. If the system includes 1, 3 or 4 sensors, the software must be reconfigured. This is done by using the top-level menu, configuration and attach sensors options. There are 3 LED indicator lamps on the front panel of the central display, which display the system status. The green indicator lamp flashes once per second to indicate the power is on and the unit is operating. The yellow indicator lamp flashes once per second if there's a fault. This is accompanied by a fault message on the LED display and a buzzer sound once per second. The red indicator lamp flashes rapidly when an alarm is triggered. This is accompanied by an alarm message and a rapid buzzer sound. The small circular aperture on the left of the indicators is the buzzer. There are also 3 buttons on the front panel of the central display, which allow access to the software functions. The red Cancel button cancels a menu option or returns you to the previous screen. The blue Cycle button allows you to go to the next option on the screen. The green Accept Test button can be used to select an option or mute an alarm or fault when used with a short press. A longer press is used to acknowledge the alarm. By pressing and holding the Accept Test button, you can test the alarms, indicators and sounders are operating correctly. Pressing and holding Cancel and Cycle together for 6 seconds displays the top level menu. If you've purchased a relay system, you can access this setup menu using these buttons through the menu options. We recommend zero calibrating the unit first. To zero calibrate the CO2 sensor, ensure the Ax60 is powered on and operating normally. Press and hold Cancel and Cycle together for 6 seconds to display the top level menu. Press Cycle 3 times to display Calibration. Press Accept Test to display Span Cal, then press Cycle to display Zero Cal. Press Accept Test to display the sensor you wish to calibrate, and press Accept Test to select this sensor. The zero level screen displays. Analox can supply the calibration kit, part number Ax60 Cal Kit, which comprises zero gas, span gas, regulator, neoprene tubing and push-in flow adapter. Fit the neoprene tubing to the flow adapter. Fit the flow adapter into the aperture on the CO2 sensor. Fit the regulator to the 100% nitrogen zero gas. Carefully open the regulator valve and allow the zero gas to flow across the sensor for 1 to 2 minutes. Do not block the exit of the flow adapter. The CO2 reading on the zero test will begin to reduce. Wait for this to stabilize at around 0 ppm. It may not calibrate to exactly 0. This is normal during the calibration process. Press Accept Test to confirm the zero calibration. If zero calibration is successful, the zero message sent screen is displayed. You can then span calibrate the CO2 sensor. Press and hold Cancel and Cycle together for 6 seconds to display the top level menu. Press Cycle 3 times to display Calibration, then press Accept Test twice. Press Cycle to find the sensor you wish to calibrate, and press Accept Test to select this sensor. Press Cycle repeatedly to enter the span calibration value you want. Press Accept Test to confirm the span calibration value. Fit the neoprene tubing to the flow adapter. Fit the flow adapter into the aperture on the CO2 sensor. Fit the regulator to the 3% CO2 span gas. Carefully open the regulator valve and allow the span gas to flow across the sensor for 1 to 2 minutes. Do not block the exit of the flow adapter. The CO2 reading on the test will begin to increase. Wait for this to stabilize at around 30,000 ppm. Press Accept Test to confirm the calibration. If span calibration is successful, the span message sent screen is displayed. Analox Limited is an acknowledged authority on gas sensors and is recognized internationally for our expertise. Our experience has shown that a reliable gas detection and monitoring system can play a crucial role in managing air quality. For more information about your Ax60 carbon dioxide detector quick connect option, please visit our website. Analox don't just meet standards, we set them.